Do you run out of phone battery right when you need it the most? Maybe what I've got here will catch your attention. It's the new Itel P70, a phone that looks pretty normal at first glance, but it comes with a custom-made power bank that installs like a case. No cables needed. But is it actually useful? What's the price? How much does it cost? You're probably starting to have a bunch of questions. Don't worry. In this video, I'll tell you everything you need to know and how much this little gem costs. I'll tell you now. It's a modest, affordable, but well-balanced phone. Let's start with the unboxing. The phone comes in double packaging. In the first box, we find the phone, a semi-transparent gray plastic case, an 18-watt fast charger, a SIM tray tool, and finally, a USB-C cable. In the second box, we've got the power bank case. It's 4,000 milliamps. And inside the box, that's all there is. Here's the case. It feels like hard plastic and has a good weight to it. Down here, there's a button with LED indicators. And at the bottom, there's the USB port. Back to the phone. I got the blue color, but there are a couple more color options. It's a slim phone, but feels solid and high quality. As you can see, it comes with a pre-installed screen protector. Here's the selfie camera, and this white bit here is the front flash, something most phones don't have. The edges look like metal, but are actually shiny plastic. The fingerprint reader is on the power button. At the bottom is the single speaker, the USB port, and the headphone jack. On the left side is the SIM tray. You can use 2 nano SIMs and a micro SD card at the same time. Finally, the back, it has a satin glossy finish. There are even reflective lines that catch the light and look like cyberpunk neon lights. At first glance, it might look like it has an LED strip, but it's just a reflection. Here's the camera module. 2 are cameras, and the third is an infrared sensor for remote control use. I personally think it's a nice design, but that's up to taste. Here's how it looks by itself. Here's how it looks with the power bank case. The phone alone weighs 197 grams. The power bank case weighs 116 grams. Together, they weigh 313 grams. It definitely feels heavier, but not overly so. It's still lighter than a rugged phone, and it doesn't add much thickness. If you were wondering, with the transparent case, it weighs 221 grams. Now I'm going to clear up all the questions you probably have right now, and I'll show you the charging times. The phone has a 6,000 milliamps battery, and the power bank has a 4,000 milliamps battery, giving a total of 10,000 milliamps combined. If your phone were at 0%, the power bank could charge it up to 67%. Here are some technical details in case they're useful, but feel free to skip ahead to the tests. The case has an input of 5 volts 2 amps and outputs the same. This means it charges at 10 watts, and when it charges the phone, it also does so at 10 watts. And watts isn't considered fast charging, but it's not super slow either. The phone's charger is 18 watts. You can charge the case on its own, and the LED indicator will light up to show it's charging. You can also charge the case and the phone at the same time, and the good thing is the case has pass-through. This means the charger's power goes straight to the phone. The phone will charge at fast speed, while the case charges slowly at the same time. No need to charge them one by one. Now, on to the tests so you can get a better idea of the charging times. Test 1. The phone is at 72%, and we're going to charge it with the case. We press the button, charging starts, and we start the timer. And minutes and 30 seconds later, it's at 77%, a 5% increase. This means in 1 hour, you'd get about 30% battery using just the case. Not bad. Test 2. Charging the phone directly with its charger. It was at 46%. We start charging and start the timer. After 5 minutes, it reached 50%, about a 5% increase. That means in 1 hour, you'd get roughly 60%, and a full charge would take about 1 hour and 40 minutes. Test 3. Charging the case and the phone at the same time. The phone's at 50%. We plug in the charger, start the timer, and after 5 minutes, it's at 55%. So the phone charges the same whether or not the case is attached. I'm not sure if the case charges really slowly or if it only starts charging when the phone hits 100%. And finally, when you attach the case, press the button once to start charging and double-click to stop it. That's basically how the case works. Still have questions? Let me know in the comments. All right, now let's move on to other features. Starting with the screen, it's a 6.67-inch IPS display with HD+ resolution, a bright 700 nits, and a 120 Hz refresh rate. If you go into settings, you can switch between 60 Hz and 120 Hz. If you're often on TikTok enjoying some solid high-quality content or watching YouTube and Netflix, this screen won't disappoint. It's very bright, the colors look great, not too saturated or washed out, just nicely balanced. The resolution isn't full HD, but very few people will even notice. Most of the time, you won't realize it. In audio, this is where you might feel it's lacking. It only has a single speaker, so there's no stereo sound, and the max volume is just okay. Luckily, you always have the option to connect a speaker or headphones. For photography, on the back there's a 13-megapixel camera, and on the front, an 8-megapixel camera. Both have flash. Like I said at the beginning, this is a modest phone, so don't expect amazing camera results, but overall they're quite decent. Especially with good lighting, the photos come out really nice. The quality of the front and rear cameras is pretty similar. For video, the max you can record is Full HD at 30 frames per second. For performance, this phone comes with a MediaTek Helio G50 Ultimate processor, 8 GB of RAM, and 256 GB of storage. With these specs, it scores 141,000 points on Antutu. That's the performance of a low-end phone, but the advantage of Itel is that they optimize the system for their devices. So even with humble hardware, apps don't crash and it doesn't feel too laggy. The slowest part is when opening an app, but once it's up and running, it moves fairly. Well, of course, we're talking about casual apps, social media, maps, YouTube, and banking apps. If you try video editing apps, it clearly won't handle them. For gaming, you'll only be able to run well-optimized titles like Call of Duty or Minecraft and only on low graphics, but they work fine. If you just want to play casual or 2D games, you won't have issues. The only thing is that loading times are really slow. Unlocking the Itel P70 can be done via the fingerprint sensor, which works very fast. You won't have trouble with it. Face unlock also works quickly as long as you have good lighting. If not, it might fail to recognize you sometimes. In terms of connectivity, it has 5 GHz Wi-Fi, and I was surprised that on my network it reached full speed. I've tested more powerful phones that don't hit the max. It also has GPS, Bluetooth, and 4G mobile networks. What it doesn't have is NFC, and I almost forgot. It has an infrared remote. Just pull down the quick menu and you'll find the option to add your devices. It works great, whether it's for the AC or the TV. Some extra system features include its iPhone-style dynamic island. Here you can see notifications, charging status, or just turn it off. You can expand the RAM by virtualizing regular memory. It's not recommended, but you can do it. You can clone apps too, in case you want 2 WhatsApp accounts. And one feature I liked is horizontal mode. When you're charging your phone sideways, a full-screen clock appears and stays on the whole time. What I didn't like is that it comes with a lot of pre-installed bloatware, even a freezer app for sausages. And that's everything about the Itel P70. It costs $160. I'll leave the link below in the description. Let me know in the comments what you think about the device or ask anything you'd like. Feel free. That's it from me. Over and out.